Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's Jonathan Adams here. Hope you're having a really good week. In my sermon on Sunday, I looked at 1 Samuel chapter 21 to 23. And I looked at a period of David's life where he's on the run from Saul and things just seem a little bit wild, a little bit in disarray, and a little bit chaotic. We saw in chapter 21, as the passage opened, that David's on the run from Saul, and he's goes to get the consecrated bread from the priests at Nob. Then he feigns insanity once he's run off to Gath. Then we saw in following chapters he's running to other countries to try and get his parents into somewhere that's safe. Then he's back into the cave of Adullam, and there's different people there that are gathering around him. And in one sense, there's a sense of him being a warrior and a sense of him gathering people around him. But in another sense, there's a feeling of what on earth is going on here? This guy's been on the run for some time, and it just feels a little bit chaotic. And my points really at the end were, first of all, that David may not be perfect, but God is faithful. And I brought up those some of those more interesting points around David's life. For example, the deception of the priest and of the king of Gath, and also some of the interesting decisions he makes, like choosing to go out of Judah to Gath, but also choosing to go to Moab to try and keep his parents somewhere safe. I think there's two questions I would encourage you to think of as a small group coming out of it. My first question is around those more difficult parts of David's life, what I term the three deceptions. So he asked Jonathan to lie to Saul for him and say that he was away. He lied to the priest at Nob, and then also when he was in Gath, he feigned insanity. So there's those three deceptions, and then there's also those two trips outside of Judah, one to Gath and one to Moab, which some people would say represent an error of judgment. And my first question is this: to what extent do you agree that David, as a leader, did suffer some errors of judgment and engage in deception? My second question would actually be more around you personally. And I think it's going to involve you opening up a little bit, if I'm honest. I try to lead a little bit in this in my preaching on Sunday and just share how I found it a real challenge with all of the different things going on around the pandemic, but with also church responsibilities, work responsibilities, home and family responsibilities, and that I can sometimes feel a little bit like I imagine David felt, a little bit out of control and a little bit wondering, where is all this going? Am I qualified? Can I do this? Can I cope? And so my second question is, how are you really doing? How are you coping? Do you feel you've got a warrior heart at the moment? Or is it something that people need to pray for you as you engage in these uncertain times? I hope you're having a really good week. I love being in church with you. You are a great blessing to me, and I love being part of your family. Take care and God bless.